Okay, we're going to do a little video to show you how to change the timing belt on a Toyota Hilux Mk6 Mk7 Vigo with the 3-litre D4D turbo engine in it. So this is the kit we've got. We've got 3 parts here. We've got the tensioner, so that's got a little pin in it, and if we pull this pin out, that little plunger in there will shoot forward, and that's what keeps the tension. We've got the idler gear, which is a little aluminium casting with a wheel that runs on the back of the belt like so, and we've got the all-important belt. Now you can replace one or all of these. Obviously it's recommended to replace all of them. There are other options to do at the same time. You might want to replace your water pump, which can go, and you've got some access to that. It's not actually that scary a job, which is why we're going to have a go at doing it. It's started to rain now, which is great. Right, so here's the trusty D4D 3-litre turbo engine. Right, and basically what we're looking at is the belt that's inside here. Now I think they recommend changing the belt at 100,000 miles or 6 years. So our truck is pretty much hit both of those, surpassed both of those. So we're going to have a go at doing this. Right, and other things before we start, you can, as we look in the side here, the fan kind of gets in the way. So we're going to just remove the fan bolts, and then we're going to remove the bolts on here. But first we'll need to remove this intercooler cover on the top. Now for the sake of safety, because we're going to have our hands mashed in the middle of all the turning bits, we're going to disconnect the earth terminal on the battery here with a 10mm spanner, and we're going to disconnect the battery. So if you've got a radio fitted with a radio code, you might want to make sure you've got that sorted. So we've got him tucked out the way, well away. Right, and Tom, I'm going to pass it over to you. So we see if we can get this done without getting too rained on. Right, so we've coloured a load of stuff orange. If yours aren't orange, don't worry. We've tried to make it easier for the video. Oh, let's get a 10mm on that. Right, okay, so we've got a 10mm socket. Now some of these bolts, as you'll see me doing it, they won't look very tight. The reason for that is they're not. So we're trying to make it easier for you guys by doing a slightly quicker than normal video. So we've sort of done a bit of a dry run on this. Well, I say that, Tom's done a dry run on this. I got my smart shirt on today, Tom. So okay, right, let's do the show and tell. Right, so the back two are these sort of, what do we call those, Tom? The dome head nuts, and they sit on those two at the back there. I'm going to put those out the way on the battery, and then the front 3 are all the same, and these are, I'm going to call these bolts, washer, what's the posh word for them, Tom? Captive washer bolts, there we go. So again, we've got 3 of those, they're all the same, so we're going to put those down. Okay, right then. Let's try not to lose our tools. Careful putting things on the battery, although it's disconnected, it's not. Oh, right, now we've got some flash aluminium oil cover on here, which cunningly doesn't clear the intercooler cover. So there, we'll have a look at that. That's the intercooler, it's got some sound deadening pads on it. So, right, put the oil filler on before you drop anything down there. That's not a good idea. Another thing to notice is we've taken our air filter out. We're going to do a video for installing the snorkel next. We've got that out, but we thought there's no point in putting it back in, but it really doesn't affect this. Right, now here we go. So we have got a decision to make here. You can, if you want, remove your fan, as I was saying earlier, or you can just go and get on taking this off. We're going to just, because we've already done this and we've loosened these, we're going to go for removing. As you can see, these bolts are fairly loose. Right then, so let me have a go. Now, it's probably, it's up to you if you want to do this. Well, it's going to give a better view for the video, and for you guys at home, if you're doing it yourself and you're going to take a couple of hours out of your Saturday morning to do it, it makes it a nicer job, and you can clean a few bits. Right, so let's just show you, that's what the nuts are like holding the fan on. We've got 4 of those. 3 of them will be easy to get to. Should I turn the... we can reach under there, can't we, Tom?
I would turn it round.
You turn it round. So now would be a good time to turn it round. So we'll put the spanner on it, and we should be turning this clockwise, really, shouldn't we? Right. Oh, there we go. So I'm using that one there to get me up where I want, and then hopefully we haven't got that too tight that we can't give him a little... That's it. Alright, sorry, not very good on the video, that. Alright, so alright, and then loosen that last one. I should better spin those off by hand now. Apparently the dealers can do it in under an hour, this. And for the video, we'll try and keep it fairly sweet. We might do a few shortcuts.
That fan pulley will tilt a little, so the last knot you might need to spanner off.
Spanner off, yeah. Because we've got the... We will do another video as well for how to change the serpentine auxiliary drive belt. I think that's what we're going to call that one, Tom. Sounds good. Alright, and let's have a little go here, shall we? Yeah, he's going to... But we should just better leave it on there, shouldn't we? It's doing no harm. Am I going to drop the spanner, Tom? This might have been a good bit of bypass on the video, but we'll try and do as much as we can real time. It's tight to get a ratchet in there. We need some ratchet spanners in the workshop, don't we, Tom?
Ratchet rings.
Ratchet ring spanners, yeah. He's still not having that, Tom. He's going at a bit of an angle, isn't he?
I'm trying to straighten it up a little bit, might be. Fan's dropping.
Yeah. That's it, I got it. Right, so now Tom did manage to wiggle the fan out. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, and it is an interesting point because I guess when you do the serpentine belt video we're going to have to take it out. Now it did come out and I think it was tight on this connector here, so it's probably worth, if you're going to do that, just disconnect that connector and then the drive, what are we going to call that, the drive flange there will come up through here. But for this video we're going to leave it there and we're going to get on and take these 6 bolts. And what are they going to be, Tom? They're going to be M10s as well, are they?
10.
Yeah. 10, 10, 10. Have I got the 10?
It might be good to use the small extension.
We might get that in there.
Just enough.
Right, so again, right, so we've got 6 bolts. We've coloured them orange. These 2 at the top are fairly straightforward. Now these bolts are slightly different. So these bolts, they've got a shoulder on them, and also the washer has got a rubber, it's hard to see on here, but it's got a rubber face on one side of that washer. So they're the bolts and they're all the same, 6 of those for holding on the timing belt cover. It's just a plastic cover. How are we doing for time, Tom? What's the camera saying?
8:45.
8 minutes, there we go. So, I should have put the latex gloves on. These vinyl ones are a bit of a pain. Now,
Stretch.
Right. Let's have a look if we can get the short extension. We
That's
should be.
the long one.
Oh, that's the long one. Where's my short one, Tom? That's the shortest one I got in this kit.
There's one in the other.
Is it? That's right. Well, there.
But you've got room now, the fan's off to be able to do that.
Yep. Okay, so there's another one of our shouldered. Okay, right, I'll go over this side now, Tom. So this one's just down here next to the, we reckon that's the injector plug down there, don't we? I've snooked myself. Oh, here we go. That's it. He's come out. I can't get the ratchet out. There you go. Right, there's another one of those little beauties. All the same. Right then we're going. Now this is where you're really getting the advantage of not having that fan in your way. I think I'll agreeing with you, Tom, especially as you did all the work to loosen the nuts first time round. Alright, don't want to drop him. Here he comes. Alright. There we go. Same again. Sorry, I didn't show you that. Right, then we got. Whoa, he's way down in there. Right then. Let's swap sides. Let me see if I can get in. Alright, let's have a go. Can I get in there? I reckon I can. Alright, then let me take that off now. He's loose. Put that socket up there. Get my little. Right, so I reckon we could have the timing cover off and all exposed within 10 minutes there, do you reckon, Norm?
Just gone into 11 minutes.
11 minutes.
But we have been taking it easy.
Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. So we now should be able to remove this. Moment of truth. Reveal one. There you go. Timing chain cover now. If you've got a lot of dust around here, you want to be worried. If you've got some pink residue, it could be the water pump leaking. We'll have a little look, see where the water pump is. We'll show you that. But this one, we have cleaned it, but when we took it off, it wasn't dirty at all inside, was it, Tom?
No,
it
a little dusty from length of time, but
nothing sinister. So we were looking at that. And then obviously here's your timing belt. So this is the original Toyota one. Right, let's just have a look at that water pump while I mentioned it, Tom. So that there, we can see where the fan pulley was. This is the water pump. So if you need to change the water pump, it gets a little more complex, but that's where that is. So we've got two timing wheels here, so one at the top and then one at the bottom down there. That's that. And we've got the idler gear here, the idler bearing that obviously keeps this belt taut. And the clever little bit here is this little piston arrangement here that we were looking at the start of the video. Oh, Tom's going in sideways. Try and get the camera, but that there, and this is what's pushing on this idler gear and keeping the belt taut. Right then. Okay, right, let's come back up the top, Tom, and let's show them now the timing marks. So on your wheel, now we didn't put that yellow mark on this top wheel. There's a yellow mark there. Now what actually, if I scrape the yellow off, there is actually a groove in the casting there. Now that needs to be aligned with this little arrow at the top. Now the arrow isn't orange. I've done all the orange stuff you'll see on the car in the video today, but that little point there is actually in the casing, and it's probably worth putting a bit of Tipex or a pen if you've got it there to highlight that arrow. And what we need to do now is to rotate the engine so that this mark is lined up with that, and there is a similar mark. So we've got a 22mm socket, and we're, rather than going on the timing wheels, which could cause the belt to jump, as Tom's pointed out, we're going to try and go off the crank. Okay, so we're going in a clockwise direction. Now bear in mind that it may well start to jump when we get over the compression point, but right, that's okay. I'm just trying not to jam anything up. How are we doing up there, Tom? It's coming.
You've got a quarter turn on that pulley.
Yeah, hold on, if I put my arm around the side there, look, we can see it in front.
Just coming
off the drive belt, but we'll be right. Oh, that's alright.
Okay.
Well, that looks okay. Right then. Let's position that fan back out the way again. Right. So as we look from the front there, as Tom was showing, we've now got the groove, which is highlighted yellow from Toyota, aligned as we look at it square on. Now, don't worry about the timing line here. That could be anywhere on the belt. When you put the new one on, it's an extra mark if your belt's got it, but I don't think our belt has got that mark on it, has it, Tom? Let's just have a little look, see? The genuine Toyota belts do have a mark, and it's another little, but it's only really a secondary sanity check. You don't need any marks on your belt. But when that was new and they installed it, that mark would have lined up with that one, and it would have lined up down below. Right, now let me try and lower the camera carefully. I'm going to do this half. Right, and what we're looking at there is, that's it, He's probably got it without the torch, I think, Tom. I could see it on the screen there. So we've got two little marks there, and you can see by the white mark, you can see you've got an arrow coming in, and that should be lined up with the mark. Where's the mark, Tom? On the
white arrow.
The white arrow on the... Oh yeah, sorry, that is the white arrow there. The white arrow's on the wheel, and the pointer is in the casting. So you're lining up the white mark with the pointer in the casing, okay? So it's a bit unclear down there. And I think actually someone in one of the forums did say they used their phone to check the, use the screen on their phone and take a picture to check that they were aligned when they were putting the new belt on. Right. So while I'm down there, so this is the tensioner now, and what we're going to do is we're going to undo, it's held in with 2 bolts. Let's have a look if I can get this, here we go. Okay, one at the bottom and one at the top there. We're going to loosen one and then remove the other, and it'll swing round and allow us to release the tension on the belt there, okay? So if I go for a 10mm, Tom brought me the little extension, a littler one, thank you. Okay, so let's have a go. So we had some debate as to which one to loosen, but I don't think it really matters. It's an either or situation. So I'm just going to undo the top one. Okay, just give that a... Okay, alright. Alright, and then I'm going to move the bottom one. So the top one's in place. And I'm going to remove the bottom one. Now we don't need to put the locking pin or anything else in for this, do we, Tom? Into the piston.
It's very difficult to compress.
Yeah. Right, let me see if I can... Yeah, so there's no more locking of the engine you need to do. Once we've got those two marks lined up, we're away to go. Now, we're not allowed to mention the Russian technique for changing timing belts, are we, Tom? No. We don't recommend that. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we should see that, as I do that last turn, we should be able to see that. I don't know if we'll see it on the video. We should see that little tensioner swing to the side a little when I come off the last thread. Alright, here we go. There you go, okay. So that's swung out the way now. So that should have released the tension off the belt. Okay, so we could... Should we take the belt off now, Tom? Or we could take the
pulley off.
We'll take the pulley off first, we reckon. Let's have a... I'm just trying to think if we'll get more room. Yeah, he's still quite tight, so let's take the pulley off. So we're going to go and get a socket now. So we need to undo this one here, isn't it?
10mm hex.
Allen key drive. Okay, so we'll go and grab one of those and join you again in a minute. Okay, so we've just got let me just show you this. We're not going to... So that's the 10mm hex drive that we're just going to undo the thing with. But before we do that, we've had a little debate, a little discussion. Tom thinks it's a good idea, and I have to agree with him, to take that top bolt that we loosened earlier on the little tensioner. Let's whip that top bolt out. Taking that fan off is a good idea, Tom. Even if you just leave it in there. Right, let me see if I can spin that one off by hand now. There shouldn't be any tension on it. Whoop, there we go. Right, I've caught it. Right, so let's look at that little bad boy. So that's the one there. So we loosened that, and then we undid that, and then that swung round. And let's just show you that piston while we're here. So that piston, you can possibly... Yeah, you can just about push it in with your hand. If I hold against the socket here, give me a bit more. You can push that in, and what you'll see is there's a hole in here, and we'll see this in a minute. There's a hole in the piston and a hole that goes all the way through the casing. And what we can do is the new one comes with the piston fully compressed in and a release pin, and we'll see why that comes in handy later. Right, so that's just put that bolt. That's the bolt that the second bolt for the tensioner. So they're the two tensioner bolts and the tensioner assembly together there. We're getting a bit crowded on there. You need to be careful on the battery, Tom. It's not good really, is it? Right then. Okay, so now back onto the hex drive, which is in the middle of that tensioner pulley. You do not, he lies. It's on the side there. That's on that. Okay. Okay.
And there's a washer at the back.
We've got to catch that one every time as he comes out. Right, and I think we're gonna, let's have a go at. Alright, and I'm just gonna, let's have a look. If I take that off there, will that give me enough? He doesn't feel too tight in there. If I balance that one. Sorry, it's not good for the video. Right, so I'm gonna catch the washer, Tom reckons. Right, let's have a look. I'll put my hand around the back to see what's there, Tom. I can feel the washer. Right, I got it. Okay, so right, here we go. So Tom was right, look, indeed. So let's just have a quick look at that. So this is the tensioner device. This is the hardened surface where the tensioner is pushing. Sorry, this isn't the tensioner, this is the idler. So this is spinning around all the time, and it's the bearings in there that go. And there's the washer at the back, and that bolt there, and obviously that it's got a lubricated surface there. So we've got a new one of those, but we'll need the bolt and the washer, I'm guessing, Tom.
Yes.
Right, so that's that. We'll put that to one side. Right, now can I take the belt off, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just ease that off. Give it a little bit of a. There we go. There we go. Right. So this is the original Toyota belt. So just to show you what an original Toyota belt goes, and there we go. So we've got some part numbers, and
then there it tells you 97 teeth by 25 millimeters wide.
okay, yeah, so that's the width and the 97 teeth. Yeah, do not crimp. There we go. So that is the belt removed. So right then, so I guess the first thing to do, right, you don't really want to be moving the engine at all once you've got that belt off. You want to be leaving everything and getting a new belt on. Do you reckon the belt's the best thing to put on next, Tom?
Check your timing mark again.
Right, has it got a direction of rotation, Tom?
No.
No.
Some may have.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
here on this one you can see it's 97 teeth and 25 millimeters.
Meters, okay, yeah. So that's a good, yeah. Because otherwise you'll be fighting, if you've got the wrong one, you'll be fighting that. So let's, I'm going to put it on the bottom pulley first, Tom, because it's got that guard at the front. Okay. Okay, and that seems to have slipped on. Now, the problem is that isn't going to work, is it, Tom? Because we really need all this side needs to be tight, doesn't it?
Yes.
So right, so let's try that again and try and keep the side nearest the battery.
Put one hand underneath and hold the bottom belt in place.
Yeah.
Pull it tight towards the top or on the driven side here, and then slide it in.
So I've got there by hook or by crook, but so yeah, you want this side straight, and then you need to check your timing mark. So we're looking good at the front, and let me see if I lower that camera down into the depths down there. Now I can actually see pretty well with this camera, just at a slight angle. We can see there we've got the white mark on the wheel is perfectly lined up with that arrow, so that is good. So right, we need to try and keep that on. He's jumping off there, Tom. Let me jiggle him back on again. Okay. Now we could use that little trick that they did in the other video, Tom, where we just put a little clamp on there. Let me just grab one of those little clips we've got in here, Tom. What do you reckon to using one of these, Tom?
Yeah, that's okay.
Just to keep him on there, stop him jumping off. Yeah, that keeps that out of the way, doesn't it?
Now what you should do is feel underneath the bottom pulley for any slack and make sure all the teeth are sat in.
Ah, yeah. See, it's jumped off. Okay. Now I might go and grab another one of those. That's it. Right. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
What you could do is use a clamp.
Clamp, yeah. The two.
bags.
Yeah, let me go and do that. Let me go and do that, Tom. You grab that for a minute. See if we've got a clamp big enough for that. Right. We've only just. We should have thought of this before, Tom. Right. Do you reckon we can get that one in there? Ugh. Hold on. Go on. That's my idea of a workout, Tom. That is. Right then. Now, of course, the danger there is, Tom, is pulling the second one, but it is keeping it, as long as we're happy that that's...
Well, you put
we've put the marks
Belt
right on. Yeah.
In marks.
In that, so we're happy. That's actually quite good, Tom. Yeah, and we'll check again when we've got the tensioner on and everything. Anyway, so we're ready now to refit the new idler wheel. So, whoop, don't lose the washer. Right then, so let's just have a look what we've got up here. So we've got the old idler wheel. Don't drop it. Right, we need a workbench really. Right, so we've got the old idler wheel. So we're going to just lift off the washer here. Lift out the bolt. Put that one down. Keep it all
clean. I would
give the bolt a clean. Right. Just check it's got no grit or contamination on it. Okay. Put that there. Give the washer a clean.
You may find the clamp will get in your way.
Wait, we'll have a look. Right, okay. So then we need to be in. So we've kept all the orientation the same there, but let's see if we can't get that clamp and get that bolt in there. I can see him from this side. Right. Again, it's not very good for the video here, but let me have a. There's not room for all of us here, but that's. Right, okay. Right, if I get that. Okay. Right, get the hex drive on it. There we go. That's okay. So let's nip that up. So we can tighten that up fully, can't we, Tom? Because that's on a. We're not actually tightening that from moving at all. There, we're just
mounting it.
It's just the mounting bolt. It's free to pivot about the bolt. So here we go. Right, I'm gonna just. I don't think I've got the best leverage position there, so I'm just gonna jump around the side so I can get a good push down on it. Okay. We could put some Loctite on that if we were. Wouldn't be a bad idea, would it? There's no downside to that. Okay, so we've now got that on. Okay. Now I think we are going to get in the way with that clip. So I'm minded to put that clip on that bottom pulley if I can. Tom. Okay, which I think will stop that getting into any trouble there, Tom, those two clips.
Okay.
Okay, right then. Right, here we go. So now we can see we've got the new tensioner. I nearly put the old one back on. We've got this sort of quick release fire extinguisher type pin that's holding it all there. So we're going to leave all that. It's not going to. It doesn't pop off with a too wild a force, does it, Tom? But obviously be careful. And then we're going to go down and try and fit this back in where it came from down here. Yep, again, this bit's not going to be very good for the camera. Okay, it's a bit of a fight, but I've got that bottom one in there now. Okay, so it's still free to pivot, but I've got the bottom one in because I can see the bottom one. You can't quite see the other one. It's in a bit of a shadow. So let me, now I've got that one in, put the second one in. Okay, so with a bit of fiddling, we got the top one in. It's not too bad, but as Tom pointed out, sometimes you just change your angle of approach. You might not be able to see, but sometimes you can get a better. Alright, okay, so that's those two in. Now again, we need to get those two nipped up, and then we'll be in a position when they're tight to nip up those, to release the pin. If you look at that belt at the top, Tom, on that top belt, see here, do we want to just push that on a bit more, do you think? Before we release the tensioner.
Once you've taken the clamps off, make sure the belt is seated correctly and in the middle of the pulley.
I mean, the bottom pulley's not so bad in terms of that seating on, because you've got guards both sides, but that top one we need to get a little like...
And again, check your timing mark, have it moved.
Right. I don't want to go too tight with those, do we, Tom? Because we're into aluminium block there, aren't
No, they don't.
they? And they're not too big, are they?
60 pounds inches max.
Right then. Okay, so right, let's take it up right then. So let's. I mean, I can sort of induce some tension on this, can't I? By pulling this over. Okay, let's take that clamp off. Alright, I'm going to release the pin now, Tom. I'm going to just, that's it. Ah, that went sweet, didn't it? Okay, so let's just let me see if I can do this in such a way that I don't A, trap my fingers and B, the video. So we should just better wiggle this pin now. He takes a bit of wiggling, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Alright, come on, you little beauty.
You might need to put a bar through it and use it like a T-bar.
I think that's probably not. There you go. Right then, whoa, okay. So that has now applied some tension to that belt. Okay, so let's just show people the pin, Tom. I mean, it was fairly self-evident. But so that obviously there is no longer needed. So we've got the new belt, the new idler wheel, and the new pulley on. Just have a little check that we think clamps off. Okay. Now Tom's technique now is just to give it a turn on the, where's the big socket? So let's give it a turn. Now obviously there's nothing you can do to stop the engine moving. You'll see here our serpentine belt's got a little bit messed up. If we'd have put the nut back on, we'd have been in a better position. That's probably not a bad idea, Tom. Have I passed the point of no return now? Maybe. Let's,
we need to take tension off.
Take the tension off that. And let's do that in the video, Tom, shall we? So which one's the tension one, Tom?
It's the one right down.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what size socket was that?
14mm.
14mm. Let's get a 14mm socket. Can we get a socket in there, Tom?
It should be on the T-bar already.
Okay. So yeah, let's just show you this then. So we've got it on a bar here, and we will do another video for doing this belt. So we're going to go down this, and we're going clockwise. Yes. We are, aren't we, Tom? So if I let myself enough room,
you might come up against the water bottle there.
Okay, so that's what I can do. I got it. So if we put it back on or take it off? Let's put it back on for now. And this time we'll just use a couple of those fan securing bolts, which probably would have been a better idea at the start, but there you go. Right, I see that pulling that square now. That'll do. You reckon another one? Well, why not? Why not, Tom? How long is it going to take? Right, there we go. Okay. Right, so that's all sweet now. Okay. Well, now we need the socket, and we're going to spin the engine round just to check everything goes freely. We'll do one free turn. When the yellow notch here comes back up to the top again, we'll give it another check, and then at least we've given it our best shot. Right, okay, so we've got the 22mm socket on the crank pulley at the bottom. Alright, let's look out for that wheel. If you come to this side, Tom. You got it, that's it. Blimey, we've got compression. There he goes. He's coming. Oh. I'm going to change my grip here, Tom. There we go. Here he comes. Just watch as it goes over compression that it doesn't roll away and jam you anyway. Right then. That looks about right, doesn't it, Tom?
Yeah, from this
Yeah, I was going to say I've got the better angle. I got the prime real estate there, haven't I? Right then, let me see if I can lower that camera back down into the engine and look at that. Woo! Here we go. Right, so let's have a look there. Oh, that is spot on. So we can see the white dot there is lined up perfectly with the arrow. Right, so we've just got to put the case, put the cover back on. We'll do that super quick. Put the cover back on, put the fan back on, put the cover back on, and you're done. Let's just put the cover back on, Tom. I don't think we need to show everyone. I think once they've taken it off, they'll be fairly au fait with
removal and reverse.
Yeah, you'll not be needing to watch, but I'll just show you this bit, just so that we leave you in a state of. See, we're putting back on the shouldered bolts here. The sun's coming out now, Tom. Now we've finished. I guess we could keep going with the video, but people may want to stop. We won't be offended if they leave us now, will we, Tom?
No.
But it'd be interesting to see just.
In fact, we'd be quite impressed if they're still with us.
With us. Alright. It'd be interesting to see how long it would take, I guess, just doing it and keep the video going and seeing.
It's been about 30 minutes. So.
Yeah, we've clocked up 30 minutes. Then we did loosen some bolts, so it's you're not going to do it in the same time we did, but a dealer should better do it in a similar sort of time. It's a pretty nice belt to do, really, isn't it? It's a pretty nice car belts go. I don't think you're going to get a lot easier. No. Fair play to Toyota for. I think they've gone out their way to design that to be
the whole package.
Yeah.
It just makes the life easy for everyone.
Okay, so we finished the time belt. We put it all back together, and now we're going to start it. Yeah, with our kit, we did get a nice little label that we can fill in with the mileage, and we can stick it on the timing belt cover. So we'll do that. Always worth doing that. Right, so here we go. So we got the oil filler cap back on. We've got the intercooler cover back on. We've reconnected the battery. We've got the fan back on. We've tightened up the bolts on the fan. All the belts looking fine there. And now Tom said I've got to start it. We haven't got the air filter on, but that's fine. We're happy with that, aren't we, Tom?
Yeah.
Standing back. Looks good enough to me. Sounds alright to me. So there we go, there's the Toyota Vigo timing belt change. Hope that helps you out.